Once upon a time, nestled in a cozy cottage, lived a loving family with 7 sons. Their hearts longed for a daughter, and one day, their wish came true. A beautiful baby girl was born. However, she was small and frail, and her parents worried she might not survive. In a hurry, the father sent his 7 sons to fetch holy water for her christening. In their haste, the brothers argued over who should draw the water first, and the jug tumbled into the well, lost forever. Terrified of their father's reaction, they didn't dare to return home. The father, waiting anxiously, grew more and more worried. In a moment of sheer frustration and anger, not knowing what had truly happened, he looked to the sky and cursed, "I wish my sons were turned into ravens." No sooner had he spoken the words than he heard a flutter of wings above him. Looking up, he saw 7 black ravens flying away. His curse had come true. The parents were heartbroken, but they poured all their love into their little daughter. She grew up strong, healthy, and kind, unaware she ever had brothers. One day, while exploring the house, she overheard whispers from the village folk. They spoke of her, saying she was beautiful, but that it was her fault her 7 brothers had vanished. Confused and saddened, she ran to her parents and asked them if it was true. With heavy hearts, they told her the whole story of the christening, the lost jug, and the curse. From that moment on, the young girl knew she couldn't rest. A powerful sense of love and determination filled her heart. She had to find her brothers and break the spell. She decided to leave home, taking only a small stole for when she was tired, a tiny loaf of bread for when she was hungry, a little jug of water for her thirst, and a ring from her parents as a token of their love. Her journey was long and lonely. She walked and walked until she reached the very edge of the world. She came first to the sun, but it was too hot and fierce, a terrifying giant that gobbled up little children. She quickly ran away and found herself before the moon, but the moon was cold and chilling, and it looked at her with a wicked glint. I smell human flesh," it hissed. She fled in terror. Finally, she came to the stars. They were kind and gentle, sitting on their own little chairs. Twinkling warmly, they listened to her story with sympathy. The morning star, the kindest of all, floated down to her. "I have something that can help you," it said, handing her a small piece of wood. "Take this little drumstick. It is the key to the glass mountain. Inside that mountain, you will find your brothers." The girl gratefully took the drumstick and wrapped it carefully in a piece of cloth. She traveled on, her hope renewed, until she saw it in the distance, a mountain shimmering like a diamond, the glass mountain. She walked to its gate, ready to use the key. But when she unwrapped the cloth, her heart sank. The drumstick was gone. She had lost the one thing that could open the gate. What could she do? She had come so far. Looking at her hands, a brave, selfless idea came to her. She took a small, sharp stone, and with a deep breath, she cut off her own little finger. It was just the right size. She put her finger into the lock, and with a click, the heavy gate swung open. Inside, she met a small dwarf who greeted her kindly. "My child, what are you looking for?" he asked. "I am looking for my brothers, the 7 ravens," she replied. The dwarf smiled. "The Lord Ravens are not at home right now, but if you wish, you can wait here until they return." He then brought out the ravens' dinner, 7 tiny plates and 7 tiny cups. The girl, wanting to leave a clue for her brothers, took a small crumb from each plate and a tiny sip from each cup, but into the very last cup, she let the ring from her parent slip and fall to the bottom. Suddenly, she heard a rushing sound and a flutter of wings in the air. The dwarf said, "Here come the Lord Ravens now, flying home." And just as he said, 7 ravens swooped in. They were eager for their dinner and went straight to their little plates and cups. As they ate and drank, they began to chatter amongst themselves. "Who has been eating from my plate?" croaked the first. "And who has been drinking from my cup?" chirped the second. One by one, they all noticed that someone had been there. When the 7th raven drained his cup, the little gold ring tumbled out. He recognized it immediately. "This is our mother and father's ring," he exclaimed. "Oh, if only our sister were here, then we would be free." The girl, who had been hiding behind the door, heard his heartfelt wish. She could wait no longer. She stepped out from her hiding place. And as she did, the ravens began to transform. Their black feathers softened and changed. Their beaks shrank, and their wings became arms. In an instant, her 7 brothers stood before her, whole and human once more. They hugged and kissed, overjoyed to be reunited. The family was finally complete. They looked at their sister's hand and saw what she had sacrificed for them, but as they looked, a miracle happened. Her finger, the one she had given up to save them, grew back, perfect and whole. And so, with hearts full of joy and gratitude, the 8 siblings journeyed home together. Their parents wept with happiness to see all their children again, and the cottage, once filled with sadness, was now overflowing with laughter and love. The sister's courage and a love so strong it could move stars and open mountains had brought her family back together, and they all lived happily ever after. Thank you so much for joining me for this wonderful story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fairy tales and adventures. See you next time.